Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Europeans Watching American Racing. My name is Gianluca Guiglia and I'm your co-host together with me, André Wiegold. Hello André.
Hey guys, we have a lot to talk about. IndyCar season opener, NASCAR second round at Fontana, and your special topic, NHRA in Arizona.
Busy weekend, man.
Yes, definitely.
So, shall we start?
Yes, let's start with the IndyCar race at St. Petersburg. Have you watched it, first of all?
Yes, I watched it and it was very entertaining. Not a lot of crazy action, but a super strong race.
Yeah.
Impressive win by the guy.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through the top five, I think. We had a surprising winner. First or maiden win in the IndyCar series for former Supercars legend Scott McLaughlin. First place ahead of Alex Palou. Then we had Will Power, Courtney Herter, and Romain Grosjean completing the top five ahead of Rinus VeeKay, Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, Marcus Ericsson, and Takuma Sato. Let's go through the race a little bit. You said it, there was not that much of action or craziness happening. So we had different strategies with the guys starting on different tires. We have the red ones, the soft ones, and the black ones are the harder ones. From the beginning on, McLaughlin from pole position was dominating the race, but we saw that there were several guys capable of matching the pace of McLaughlin. We had Alex Palou, of course, but also I think Courtney Herter was quite fast. And then, after the first pit stops and we had a full course yellow, things started a little bit to shuffle up because of different strategies. Then we had Rinus VeeKay at the front, and he was doing pretty well as well when he had clean air. And yeah, basically after the strategy played out, it was McLaughlin at front again. But the last, 5 laps were impressive with the battle between McLaughlin and the reigning champion Alex Palou from Spain. And they had almost the same time on push to pass. I think when the battle started, McLaughlin had 10 seconds more because, of course, he was at front and he didn't need to use the push to pass button as often as Palou. But they were on the same strategy. They were having the same weapons to fight for the race win with the push to pass. And in the end, it was Scott McLaughlin, grabbing his maiden win in the IndyCar series after his, solid rookie year in 2021. So basically it was a good win and an amazing race season opener. St. Petersburg, it's not the track for the big craziness, but I think it was still an entertaining race, right?
Yes, and then you had nice weather, great crowd, and a first-time winner, and also Scott McLaughlin, 3-time Supercars champion in Australia. It's always great to see that kind of driver move from one category to a completely different one and find success. First win of his career, first pole position, and then also a streak for Team Penske.
Yeah,
because they won the Daytona 500 and the IndyCar season opener. I think I'm not used to watching IndyCar, honestly, but I found it very, very interesting strategy-wise, especially seeing Scott Dixon at some point in the middle of the race trying to stretch his tire run. And then at the end, Alex Palou catching Scott McLaughlin was really exciting. They found a little bit of lap traffic that played in it a little bit, but in the end, it was a very nice race, very nice finish. I wanted to ask you, did you hear at Chip Ganassi Racing they had telemetry problems?
No.
At some point.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently they had some telemetry issues in receiving data from the car, and they were really not sure about their strategy. So probably Palou had to back off a little bit as well, not to make sure that he had fuel enough to finish. It was a solid race, very interesting.
Scott McLaughlin, why we have different pronunciations. Now it's going to be interesting. Last year, I did the IndyCar coverage in German TV, and of course, we do our research. And what we found out in Australia, they are pronouncing his name McLaughlin, but of course the normal English way would be McLaughlin. So maybe there's an Australian guy listening to us. Please let us know in the comments or on social media if McLaughlin or McLaughlin is the right way to pronounce Scott. That would be very interesting. Another guy I want to talk about is Christian Lundgaard, the Danish driver doing his rookie season in IndyCar, and he was 11th in the end. He was running inside the top 10 almost the whole race. In the end, he was catched by Scott Dixon, who had that late pit stop and the fresher tires, of course. But 11th place, and when we look at the second best rookie, Kyle Kirkwood in 18th, and Callum Ilott in 19th, and those guys are incredibly fast. Indy Lights champion, and another guy from Europe with the same background as Christian Lundgaard. So Christian Lundgaard did an amazing job there, finishing almost in the top 10, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong effort for the European rookie. In general, is it that difficult for a rookie to adapt to the IndyCar?
This is what we have to ask someday when we invite the first driver.
But I think being a spec series, for sure, those who have more experience with the cars, they tend to be quicker, and they tend to find that the gap between the winners and the strong drivers is very small, and therefore you need that experience to find it. And it's what you see with Jimmy Johnson, changing completely their environment and trying to catch up. Yes, of course, you can be 1 second faster than the previous weekend and still be 7-8 tenths out of the pace.
We talked about the drivers doing a good job. Scott McLaughlin, Alex Palou, Will Power, Colton Herta, Romain Grosjean, his first race in a top team. Rinus VeeKay did an amazing job. Graham Rahal was decent. Scott Dixon in 8th. Could have been a little bit better, but I think it was okay. Marcus Ericsson 9th, Takuma Sato 10th. But then where were the other big guys? Pato O'Ward only 12th. In general, McLaren not that fast at the season opener. We had Helio Castroneves and Simon Pagenaud 14th and 15th, and then Joseph Newgarden 16th, Alexander Rossi 20th. So I think there were some guys I expected way up more the ranks in the midfield or in the back. Of course, when you take a look at those names, there are at least 15 drivers capable of winning in the IndyCar series. But
that's the point.
Yeah, but
someone has to lose.
Yeah, but I expected Joseph Newgarden, Alexander Rossi, Pato O'Ward to do a little bit better than that.
Yeah, and I'm sure, especially at Team Andretti, they will want to make up for this weekend. It was not exactly the best one for them. So when are they back on track? I think we have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, we have to wait a little bit. I think the next race is going to be the oval race at Texas on 20th of March. This is the time we have the clash of IMSA and IndyCar, and that leads to some driver changes. By the way, Stoffel van Dorn is going to step in for Helio Castroneves at Meyer Shank Racing in the Acura DPI at Sebring, so Helio Castroneves can take part in the IndyCar race. So the next one is going to be an oval race, completely different setup, completely different conditions. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see those guys on an oval, and I think this will shake up the order completely.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's really intriguing. That's a very good mix, and it's typical IndyCar stuff, mixing road courses, street courses, and oval races. I'm really looking forward to the next one.
When I watched the race, I saw Colton Herta and Graham Rahal, and of course their surnames are displayed on the graphic. And I was like, man, this is like my childhood when I watched the kart series, Champ Car series, when their dads were driving, Brian Herta and Bobby Rahal. I remember playing a IndyCar game back then on the computer, and I think it was Bobby Rahal Racing, and I loved the pit stops there because the guys were already moving around the car and changing tires and stuff like this. So it's nice to see those names, and I think Graham Rahal and Colton Herta, they were close together at one point at the race, did an amazing job and gave us some amazing action. On the other side, Jimmy Johnson was lapped at the end, and have you seen how he hold off Scott McLaughlin a little bit and Alex Palou taking advantage?
He played a little bit of the team game. I honestly was surprised. He lost the pace at the end because midway through the race he wasn't really bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But he probably played, as I said, a team game there, trying to hold them a little bit back. He's improving, I think. I was really surprised. I don't know. I didn't read anything about what happened to him, but I think he just lost the pace at the end. Maybe he didn't find the proper feeling with that particular set of tires.
Yep.
But I think he's still improving. What do you think?
Yes, definitely. I think he was running inside the top 20 for a long period during that race, and I was surprised too, because on the international TV stream we have, we see the top 20, and he was there, and I said, "Oh, nice! We have Jimmy Johnson in the top 20, so that's okay for Jimmy Johnson, because last year, it was a not
tough
so
season.
Good rookie year. But on the other hand, this guy is not coming to win the championship. He's there to have a lot of fun. So but he improved a little bit at the end. He was faster than rookie Tatiana Calderon, the Colombian driver who entered the series for the road and street courses, and Khaled in 25th, and we had Malukas in 26th. So he was one of the back markers, but I do not expect for Jimmy Johnson to go into the top 10 very soon or something like this, and I don't think even he doesn't aim for that.
No, but I at some point I saw him keeping the pace of Takuma Sato, and I said, "Oh well, that's not bad. That's absolutely not bad." What I'm looking forward to now is to seeing him on ovals.
Yeah,
because he has a lot of experience.
Yeah. How do you rate the race, St. Petersburg?
I think a solid 7 out of 10. Good season opener.
Yeah. I bet this is going to be our average, 7 out of 10. This is going to be our average, because it's good enough to be 7, but it's not good enough to be something very special. And we enjoy the racing per se, so giving bad notes is going to be quite hard for us. But if you guys out there have a different opinion, let us know on social media and in the comments. Rate the race for us too. I'm very curious what you think, but it's a 7 out of 10 definitely. And my top driver was Scott McLaughlin. And the biggest disappointment for me is Alexander Rossi, because he really needs to step up. He needs to get back into the mix, into the game.
Yeah, definitely top driver for me as well. Scotty Mac absolutely killed it. And he did the shui at the end when he was celebrating. And really, his story is also really touching, because he doesn't see his family since early 2020. He got stuck in the US. He couldn't go back to New Zealand, actually, because of the rules in place in New Zealand. And maybe only now, he will be able to see them. We're not sure yet, but the restrictions are being slowly eased, and he may be able to see them again. So I'm really happy for him. I'm a supercars fan as well, and he is a great guy.
At the end of the season, maybe we have to make one episode cross out American and write Australian over it for one episode, special one for the Supercar series. I like them as well.
Yes, they are incredible racing there.
Yeah,
but I don't have a disappointment, honestly. I don't feel disappointed about any of the drivers. Probably, if I have to say, Team Andretti, please do just a little bit better.
Okay. For me, it's definitely Rossi. The second one would be Joseph Newgarden, because I saw those guys way more up the ranks. But let's wait and see, because it was the first race, and it's IndyCar. So we maybe we can see a season with a different driver in every race. It's so competitive. It's so competitive. And I think there were several drivers talking to Motorsport Total, where I work for. So I had a lot of some of quotes from them, from the network, Motorsport Network, motorsport.com. And they were comparing Formula One to IndyCar. It was Helio Castroneves, I think, and Will Power. And they said, yeah, Formula One is the world power and the top tier class in Formula racing because it's global. But the best product of racing is in the IndyCar series when it comes to open wheel racing. And I completely are on the same opinion like those guys. Formula One is nice. I like them. I enjoy the Formula One because there we have the engineering competition as well, not spec cars and stuff like this. It's a different conditions. It's a different world. Everything's fine. But as a fan of racing and drivers, personalities, I think IndyCar is more exciting, but they need to find a better way to sell this good product to the world.
I feel they are doing, because since the split they had when Champ Car, boomer, okay, when the IndyCar split back in the day between IRL and Champ Car, they really lost everything. 90% they lost it immediately. They are growing back, and I really feel more excited to watch the races, because I feel more connection with the persons than Formula One, with the drivers.
There was also one driver asking for something like Drive to Survive on Netflix for IndyCar, because they say the broadcast is quite short, so the commentators and people have almost no time to tell the background stories. They are focused on strategies, what's happening on the track. In comparison to a NASCAR race that takes way longer, you have way more opportunities to talk about the background stories, the interesting stuff. So maybe for IndyCar, for those racing series with shorter races and a short broadcasting schedule, I think it may be a good idea to add something, but you have to do something different, because not every series needs a Drive to Survive copy right now.
And that is also a massive, massive production. They set the bar with Drive to Survive. They set the bar so high that I see it very difficult to match it. To match it, but I really love the feeling. The feeling, the sympathy you can feel for the drivers. It's sort of coming back for me, like it was in the day with Max Papis, with Greg Moore, and so on. It is what I love about IndyCar. It's not about the machine, it's about the people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have something else for IndyCar, or should we move to NASCAR?
No, I have nothing else from IndyCar. We can move to NASCAR, and we have plenty to talk about. Man, that cup race at Auto Club.
Okay, let's somehow start with the Auto Club race at Fontana, the first race of the West Coast Swing. The West Coast Swing is Fontana, Las Vegas, and Phoenix. We start with the results. Stage 1, Tyler Reddick ahead of Eric Jones and William Byron. Stage 2.
And there you should, and sorry if I stop you, but there you should already see the point.
Yeah, I want to go to that point. Second stage, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, Joey Logano. And then the final race results. Kyle Larson winning ahead of Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Daniel Hemrick, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Am I allowed to do a little preamble, a little introduction to that? I don't want to be the bad guy, but let's temper a little bit our expectation for the next ones. This one was really, really, really exceptional, guys. I know it's not going to be like this for the whole season, but if it comes close, man, I'm the happiest man in the world.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good race, and I think this is not a 7 out of 10. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. The 10 out of 10 would be there if we wouldn't have the issues with the tires.
Yes. You remove the problem with the tires,
yeah.
It's an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, fantastic. Yes, but of course, keep in mind, it's a new car. It's a track they didn't race on since 2019. It's Fontana, so multiple lines, worn out asphalt, very quick. It's all this put together, a combination of an explosive race.
Yeah. Maybe we start at the beginning of the race. The 5 white salute to the fans, very nice. And then we had the
Appreciate
green
it.
flag, and then we had people already struggling and having issues. Kyle Busch spinning. Chase Elliott had several incidents. Josh Bilicki, Chris Buescher, who else? I don't know. People with flat tires, and what we saw there. And that is an issue I think NASCAR is going to address very soon.
Yeah, that's the only issue probably we will.
Not only the tire issue is a combination of different things. It's not only the tire. It's lacking data because they were not running it at Fontana in the last couple of years, and now you have a different car, you have a different tire, everything is different, so you have nothing to rely on. Second, you have to be very aggressive with the air pressure to be competitive, but that also means you're gambling with the tires if they are going to last or not. You have the very, very old surface at the Auto Club Speedway. That's why the rebuilding idea is still there in creating a short track there, because you have to resurface. You have to bring new asphalt there very soon. And those different combinations, aggressive setups, air pressures, lack of data, lack of experience, old asphalt and stuff like that. It's not only on the next gen car alone that we had so many issues with the tires. And look in the Gen 6 era at Atlanta or stuff like that. We had those tire issues everywhere, even with a lot of data, with a lot of experience with the cars. And on the other hand, the big problem I saw that I didn't like was the cars weren't moving when you had a flat tire.
To me. Yeah, that's not even the flat tire. It's what happens after you have the flat tire.
Some managed to keep kept the car moving. Some kept it moving. Some brought it back to the pits. Others were stranded.
Yeah, that's the issue. When you have a flat tire with such a low profile tire and a car with a flat bottom and a diffuser, your car basically sits on the flat bottom.
Yep.
Which means you literally cannot move. If you can, you are dragging your flat bottom and your diffuser around, causing a lot of damage and probably performance issues to your car. If you manage to keep moving, if by the way it's too flat or you completely sit on the bottom, you cannot move. And you lose 4 or 5 laps.
Yep.
The other side of the coin is that Kyle Busch lost, I think, 4 laps. Kurt Busch the same. Where did they finish?
Kurt Busch was 8th.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
Kyle Busch 14th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a combination. They had 12 cautions. So.
By the way, the new record for the 400 miles race, there was a 12 caution race back in 2008, but then it was a 500-mile race.
Yeah, you see, they had plenty of opportunities to recover. Of course, that's it. But they have to do something for that. Yeah. And I think NASCAR, from what we read on social media and reported by people like Bob Pockrass, they NASCAR knows, and they are working quick on a solution. Fix that, and we can go. We can race all day long.
Yeah, I've read some stuff about the composite body stuff, but I think, man, those bodies are not new to NASCAR or Stocker Sport. In the Xfinity Series, we have those kind of bodies since 2018. In the late model world, we have them all way around because they are much cheaper. So that is not an issue for me. And I think the issues we had at Daytona, at Fontana now with the next-gen car, for such a revolution, it's okay. It's definitely okay.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's more than okay.
Yeah. The racing was phenomenal.
Yeah. And it proved that they are also strong.
Yeah.
Keep it in mind, because Chase Elliott went literally into the wall early.
Yep.
And what happened? He was contending for the win in the end.
And And he was forced
That
into
is
the
another.
wall. And now the next topic by Kyle Larson.
Ah,
Was it
oh
an
boy.
aggressive block, or was it really the mistake by the spotter who declared in the public that it was his fault? He didn't tell Kyle Larson that Chase Elliott was going there. But the move was going very far to the outside. Did he just took a different line for the turn, or did he block? I don't know. But yeah, the spotter blamed himself and not Kyle, and Kyle apologized to Chase afterwards. But after the one with Kyle Larson at the clash with Justin Haley, you know that. Okay, he's getting his elbows out.
Yeah, I think they set a precedent. I don't think Kyle Larson wants to really put Chase Elliott in the wall in the second race of the season. For what?
Yeah.
And Rick Hendrick, but Rick Hendrick will need to have a nice talk with with the both of them, because it's ah. Anyways, if it goes this way, I'm even more happy.
Yeah.
I don't. That's fine. Rivalries are great. What I think is that Chase Elliott was just Kyle Larson was trying to take the lead and trying to disrupt. Trying to find a way to pass,
Yeah.
and that just it moved suddenly just to move out of the wake of the car preceding him, and that made it for a sudden move, and really Chase Elliott was going three wide, and it happened. But boy, oh boy, we had fun.
Yeah, definitely. Who would be your driver of the day? First, I would say Tyler Reddick, but he had bad luck with the flat tire too, and that's why he was out of the contention for the win. He was amazing the first two stages. He won. He got the bonus points, but in the end, he did not make it. For me, therefore, it's Eric Jones. Eric Jones in the Petty GMS Motorsport Chevrolet. Twice second place in the stages, a third place overall for the 43 car. And I take Eric Jones as the best driver of that race because he gives me a lot of hope that with the next gen car, teams are getting more and more together and closer together in terms of competition. Of course, the top teams will be someday there, and the less funded teams will be there. But I think in this Gen 6, the corridor was like this, and now with this next gen, it's going to be just like this. And we will not only see smaller teams being able to win on super speedways or crazy races. I think there's going to be a chance that we see those cars up front. Also on 1.5 mile ovals or short tracks. The top teams will play their game. They're going to be, the bar in NASCAR racing again. Penske, Hendrick, Gibbs, of course. But I think the corridor is going to be much, much tighter than before. And this is why this is why I choose Eric Jones.
I think I read somewhere that I have to find it, but I can't find it now. But I think the margin in qualifying between first and last was 1.5 seconds against 3 seconds the last time out at Michigan. So, as you said, the space, the margin between the top teams and the back markers is narrower. Of course, they will fine tune it. They will find a way. So keep your expectation in check.
Yeah.
But there will be more chances, and I really hope so, for the small teams. Literally, I totally agree with you about Eric Jones. I will take Daniel Suarez, just not to pick the same driver as you, because Daniel Suarez was impressive as well.
This is the same case. This is Trackhouse racing. Okay, former Chip Ganassi now with all the stuff, but it's Trackhouse, and even Ganassi was not a powerhouse in NASCAR racing. So Daniel Suarez also showing the 99 car is capable of matching the pace with the front runners.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about to talk to you about a stat I found out, and it was on racer.com. Eric Jones led 18 laps on Sunday. They were the most for Petty Motorsports since 2015. Sam Ornish.
So, Sam Ornish, okay.
And for the 43 cars, didn't lead as many laps since 2012 at Kansas Speedway with Eric Almirola. So
Yeah,
this
this
is what it means.
a similar stat I have about Tyler Reddick. He led more laps in that one Fontana race than in 2021 and 2020 each, not combined each season. So even for him, it was a very successful race, and I think he was the guy to beat, but the flat tire, yeah, in the end.
And RCR is looking strong.
Yeah,
Austin Dillon second, and Tyler Reddick that competitive. Man, it's been a long time since I was looking forward to a Las Vegas race this much.
yeah. Colic Racing with Daniel Hamrick, also quite strong. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. again in the JTG Doherty Racing Chevrolet, quite fast. Of course, I took a look a little bit at Ricky Stenhouse and JTG Doherty at this weekend because we had the news in the Euro NASCAR that JTG Doherty is going to support Leonardo Colavita, a European 60-year-old European NASCAR racer. So that's why I took a little bit the focus on JTG Doherty Racing with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and they did again a good job.
Yeah, absolutely, great job. And what do you want to say about the winner? We didn't talk about the winner at all, but it's Kyle Larson. You know he's good.
Yeah,
and give him the advantage of clinching a playoff spot now in the second race of the season, and you have Kyle Larson to beat all season long.
yeah.
Good luck with that.
He changed his coldness, we would say in Germany. When he was at Ganassi, he didn't have that last 1% he was missing.
Yes.
He was always the second guy, second place. And here and there, he won a race. Right now, he's cold enough to grab that win. He finds the opportunity. He takes the opportunity. He's winning races. He's incredible in developing the car over a race. Even if he's not at the front in the beginning, he's going to be at the end. And that is his big strength. He's aggressive enough. He wants to win. You really see he's doing anything or everything to win a race. And the team and himself are doing a good job in developing the car.
Yeah, and he wasn't that quick at the beginning of the race.
Yep.
And he found the pace. That also means that the next gen car gives you more room to work during the race. Tony Stewart was very critical a couple of years ago about the Gen 6 car, especially when they had the track bar adjuster in the car.
Yeah.
Because he said, we unload, and if it's not fast there, you're done for the weekend. You can do nothing.
Yeah.
This is, again, keep expectations in check. It's a combination of factors, blah, 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 blah. But it seems that the next gen car gives you a little bit more room to work on. And as we said, it's a strong car, gives you room for mistakes, and it's tough to drive. How long ago did you see as many single car spins in a race? It's been very, very long. And to me, it's just fantastic to see the drivers on the limit, on the edge. They make mistakes, finally. Right?
Yeah, right. I totally agree. Those cars are tough to drive, and that's what Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, already said before the debut. He said, we created a car that's tough to drive again. It's on the driver. It's on the driver, and that's what we want. I want.
Yes. Do we look excited enough about this race?
I just want to address one more issue we saw. Yes. Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch had some overheating issues, but both Gibbs cars, both Toyotas, so maybe they were on an aggressive run there with the tape and stuff like that. We have to check for the future. The next race is going to be the Las Vegas race, when I'm right, next week.
Yeah, this weekend, actually.
This weekend, of course, yeah.
And I think we have only NASCAR on track this weekend in the United States. Oh, yeah, is there anything else? I don't think so.
Yeah, but we have the
Uh,
Camping World Truck Series in European
yeah.
times in the night from Friday to Saturday. At Saturday evening, we have the Xfinity race, and then European times 9:30 in the evening, we have the NASCAR Cup Series race Las Vegas, 1.5 miles oval. I think this is going to be the first real benchmark we get for the next gen.
Yes, and I still expect the top teams to need more time to find all the advantage, because it will come down probably to the first race after Phoenix, when they come back from California and Arizona to the East Coast. But really, I'm not looking forward this much to 1.5 mile over race since a long time. Las Vegas, come here.
One guy I want to talk about, 27th in the standings, because, 2 laps down in the end, Brad Keselowski. He's spinning a little bit more than driving straight, I think, in this season so far.
Yeah.
He was involved 2 times, right?
Yes. And in Daytona, he was exactly the talk of the field, because everyone in the field had something to say about Keselowski being
Yeah.
too aggressive. I think it's this role as part owner at RFK is taking a little bit of a toll on him. Yeah, if anyone can do it, it is Brad Keselowski, because he's just that good.
Yeah.
But man, he's having a tough start of the season.
It could be the start of some rivalries we have seen in the past. And one thing was gold. We had Matt Kenseth in the commentary booth.
Yes.
And after stage 2, normally we go back to the stage winner, but this time let's give a call to Joey Logano.
And the word froze there. Really? For those not knowing, between Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano, relationship is a little bit complicated due to a little problem they had in the past, André. When was it?
When was it? I know it was Martinsville. Damn it, 2000 and.
Matt Kenseth, he was lapped, and they had beef from previous incidents, and he thought to retaliate by taking out Joey Logano when he was leading the race, and basically it took him out of the playoffs as well, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2015. Of course,
Yeah.
I rewatched it. How was the meme? Did my tire go down? No, my right foot did.
Yes.
It's not a quote; it's a meme. Very important.
But Matt was good.
Yeah, definitely, and they played a little bit. Hey, Matt, how's it going? So it was you. They created a situation that was quite funny, and they played with it too. During a race.
Yeah. Can you imagine being called on the radio during the race by your worst enemy?
Maybe
that's the situation.
This would be if Timo Glock called Felipe Massa on the radio or something like this. Basically, those guys were together in this Brazil stock car racing series a few weeks ago. Massa and Glock, they did some funny stuff together, and I think Glock did not race, but he did a very funny video when he was there waving at the crowd, and he put some crowd noises in the background saying, "Look at this, the Brazilian fans are still like me."
Oh, yo, man. But do you have anything else on the Cup race?
No, I think it's okay. I think we had all the important stuff, so we can move on to the NHRA.
I have one more thing,
Okay.
just to complete our nice talk about the next gen car. The race produced a top 10 with 9 different teams represented.
Yeah.
9.
And all,
very
of
nice.
course, all 3 manufacturers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Time for Xfinity Series?
Xfinity Series.
Yeah. Cole Custer.
Yes, Cole Custer. It was a normal Fontana race there.
Late crash.
Yeah.
Colcaster.
Colcaster won, and it was a good race. I saw it as well, but it was a normal race. I don't know what else to say, to be honest.
Yeah, I watched the highlights. Honestly, I didn't have the chance to watch it live.
When you saw the highlights, you saw that it was a normal Fontana race when they showed you the stage 1, then the stage 2 winner, and then they moved to the last 5 laps.
Yes.
And in between there was nothing.
5 laps. Yeah. It's little. You can see the NASCAR media guys struggling. What do we do? Stage 1, stage 2, final.
Yeah.
It was a Fontana race. Colcaster had the strongest car. He led the most laps in the race, and he was very good in his first appearance in the Xfinity Series since some time. I don't remember how long, but it was good. And nothing really to point out in the race. The two stages were won by Trevor Bayne, the first, ahead of Colcaster and Justin Allgaier. Second stage, Colcaster, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier. And the final results: Colcaster, Noah Gragson, Trevor Bayne, Josh Berry, Anthony Alfredo, Sam Mayer, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Ryan Sieg.
Yep.
I was really happy to see Trevor Bayne back on track.
Yeah, me too. And third place, amazing finish.
Yeah, and I think he returned, and he chose the right way to return. Secure a seat in a top team.
Yep.
And maybe don't do a partial schedule, but do it well. And he was strong, and I was really happy to see him back. For those who don't know, Trevor Bayne won the Daytona 500 in 2011, and he was the youngest winner ever of the Daytona 500 for the Wood brothers, taking back the Wood brothers to victory lane. Then he had some trouble. His career stumbled a little bit, and he had to move out of NASCAR. He is a business owner now, and he also was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
So every time we see him on the track, it's just a plus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trevor.
Rating the race, I wanted to go to NHRA, and I forgot completely about the Xfinity race. And I think, this is why it's a 5.5 out of 10. It was not bad, but it was not a big thriller. It was okay.
Yeah, I would give it a 6, just because it's a race and I like it. but it's difficult for me to find negatives. It's racing. It is what it is. These kind of races, they set you up for the good ones.
Yeah.
You have to have bad ones sometimes. Bad. Boring. How do you say it? Normal
ones. Yeah. No racing series in the world has the patent or the formula to create explosions and fireworks every weekend. Racing can be sometimes very boring. That's normal. But then you don't focus on the battles, or you don't focus on crashing, but on strategies and stuff like that. You can always find a story out of the race. So
and you focus on the long-term stories.
Yeah.
Because it's racing. And if you add fireworks at every race, fireworks will become boring.
Yeah, normal. Then you say, this time only one guy flipping, one late overtake. It was not beating and banging to the line. And then this is becoming boring. I totally agree with you. And a normal race is a normal race. I enjoy it with a different perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And if we watch and if we take a look at the point standings at the moment, AJ Allmendinger is leading the standings in the Xfinity Series with 1 point on Noah Gragson and 3 on Justin Allgaier. So you can count on the battle to be a season-long battle. That's what you have to look at.
I take a look at the time, Gian. We really need to go to NHRA now.
NHRA, mate. I'm all for it.
I want to ask the first questions. I told you I'm new to NHRA and Dragster racing, so I'm going to ask those questions an amateur would ask. They went from Sonoma now to somewhere in Arizona. Is that right? What's the difference between drag strips? I mean, it's a few hundred meters straight. What's the difference? Do I need to set up the car differently? What are the core differences between tracks in the NHRA, or are they all the same? And it's just because of course, we have to move to the fence.
It's it of course when you take NHRA, when you talk about NHRA, you have to consider that NHRA is an extreme sport compared to motorsports, because they have more than 11,000 horsepower, and everything is optimized to reach the quickest time on 1,000 feet, not even 400 meters, 1,000 feet in NHRA. They had to shorten it a little bit because it wasn't safe enough to stop the cars on the other end of the track. So you have to consider that. So everything is extreme. So you change the position, you change the track, you move it from Pomona, more or less altitude, sea level altitude, maybe a little bit more. You move it to Wild Horse Pass, Arizona, much more high. Everything changes. You have to completely to set up the car completely different to adjust for altitude. You imagine you do it for a normal car. Imagine for that kind of engine, and then the tracks are straight lines, but they are not planar. Some that go down, some go slightly up. There are bumps. Especially, you have to adapt to the starting zone, because
Okay.
it's where you put the tires first and where the tires are stopped, and they have to find the top grip. And the most important thing is to adapt to the asphalt temperature, rubber on it, conditions. They if you take a close look between runs, you can see team guys go there, carefully measure the track. Before the race, they even do track walks. So they go and literally touch the ground. And it changes, of course, based on location, geography, altitude, pressure, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And imagine if you have with 11,000 horsepower, if you have a slightly downward track, of course it changes everything in your gears.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. Have you ever stepped on that track at Hockenheim?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I was there at the starting.
How
Like,
sticky it is?
yeah,
Yes.
the other track feels like ice in
Yes.
comparison. Yeah.
If you go to an NHRA track, do it. If you go to the US, go to an NHRA event. They organize a track walk before the eliminations, before the bracket starts. And you can go there and you really risk to leave your shoes on the track. it is it is really special. Special. Did I satisfy your question?
Yes, definitely. Let's go to the results of the NHRA
Yeah.
Arizona Nationals, please.
Yes. Top fuel class. Top fuel class. You had Mike Salinas winning the race, beating Clay Millican in the final. Mike Salinas 3.693 at 322 miles per hour. The cool story, it's a fourth career win for Mike Salinas. The cool story about Mike Salinas, it goes beyond this race. But what I wanted to say, yes, Salinas eliminated Sean Langdon, Steve Torrence, and he beat Steve Torrence, the multiple time champion, the four-time champion, in the semifinals. So we have a completely different final compared to the first event of the season. Mike Salinas, there's a very nice article about him on enfuegonow.com. We leave the link in the notes of the episode. You know what Mike Salinas does for a living?
Nope.
He collects garbage.
Oh, okay.
Really, that man at 15 years of age, he was Latin American with a lot of very big family. His parents told him it was time to move out of the house at 15. He lived in a shelter on the side of the road. And he started a business picking up scraps, metal scraps, dead cars and so on. He lost everything in the 90s, I think, but you read it in the article. And then he got back on his feet and he founded the team. The team is called Scrappers.
Okay.
Yes, he has two daughters, and it's a family run team. The daughters are of course racing dragsters, but the guy is really nice. I'm really happy about the win. It goes beyond the race, as usual. Incredibly tight field. If you don't have any questions, I move quickly to funny car.
Yeah, please.
Yes. Funny cars. In funny car, we had the only repeat winner of the season, Robert Height, from John Force Racing. Robert Height beat Matt Hagan in 3.837 seconds at 330.39 miles per hour. As you see, funny cars, they have the same engine as the top fuel. The wheelbase, the distance between the wheels is a little bit shorter compared to the top fuel dragsters, and therefore they are more difficult to control, but they also have an aerodynamic body on top of them, which makes them faster at the end of the track. The Robert Height beat Maytagan after eliminating John Force,
Hmm.
his father-in-law, in the semifinals, and Bob Tasca the third in the quarterfinals. So only repeat winner of the season. Very interesting field in the funny cars too. Then we have pro stock racing.
Just one thing.
Tell me.
You're always referring, of course, to the results in miles per hour for the European guys. 330 miles per hour means 531 kilometers per hour. Just let
All-
that sink in, and then we move to the next class.
Yes. The next class is the more normal one, pro stock cars. They still do 333 feet in 6 seconds, starting from standing still on the starting line. And oh, by the way, when you have the time, check reaction times because they measure them. Reaction time is the time the driver takes to move the car
Yeah.
when the light goes green. We are talking about 39 thousandths of a second. Some of them, they time it so well that they do 5,000 of a second.
Amazing.
5,000.
In the pro stock class, I checked the speed in the finals. 337. Yes, 337 kilometers per hour. It's still incredibly fast.
Yes, yes. Sorry, it's 210 miles per hour, 330 something kilometers
Yep.
per hour. Yes, still impressive. Last week's finalists, Aaron Stanfield, won the race this time, beating Troy Coughlin Jr. and after eliminating Mason McGea, Greg Anderson, multiple-time champions. Erica Enders was stopped by the winner of Pomona, was stopped by Mason McGea in round 2 of the eliminations. Now, the season basically just started for the NHRA, but you can already see Mike Salinas leading the standings in Top Fuel, strong of 2 good results. Robert Height, of course, leads the standings in Funny Car ahead of Matt Hagan, and in Pro Stock it's Aaron Stanfield ahead of Erica Enders. Now, if we have 1 minute, I just tell you how the points work in the NHRA, just vaguely. Then we'll do a special thing later on in the season. They get points because they win rounds. So if you win the final, you get more points. But they also get points for setting the fastest laps in qualifying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was I opened the page how points are earned. I wanted to ask you that. So
Yeah. The faster they are, that they earn a small amount of points. And the special thing is that the US Nationals, their biggest race in September, they award more points than a normal race.
like the Indy 500 in the IndyCar series.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And yes, you asked about the tracks. You are used to see a pair of cars in the NHRA going down the track. At Las Vegas later in the season, Las Vegas and Charlotte, they will do a 4 wide. So they go 4x4. Imagine the noise.
What?
Yes.
Okay. See,
Okay,
see,
we'll
I'm
see.
learning a lot of new stuff. That's amazing. I hope you two guys out there.
I'm sure they are enjoying it.
To be honest, NHRA is a new field, and thanks to you, I'm already start getting invested. So yeah, please keep on the good work on that series. It's amazing.
Do it, guys.
Yeah, we have our target time of 55 minutes. We have no target time, but it's always the same when we start talking, and we are at the same time right now. I think this is a good opportunity to close that episode. Or do you have anything else to add for the NHRA?
No, it's fine for me. We have to say goodbye to our friends that, watching us everywhere. Please leave a comment below, share, subscribe, hit the bell if you're watching on YouTube, and let us know your opinion about the races we saw this weekend. We're gonna read them and talk about it.
And join me asking stupid questions about NHRA. And if you have any questions about IndyCar, IMSA racing, NASCAR racing, leave them there too. So maybe I can also answer some of them. With that
Thank you for
said,
following.
yep. With that said, thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good week. See you next time.
See you.